Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy King Gabe.
And this is Queen Tina.
And we're here for the second of the Sponge Month with Sponge Out of Water. The sequel to the first SpongeBob movie, or in some people's theory, since the SpongeBob movie was supposed to be the final in the SpongeBob, apparently the sequels happened before the first movie, which is kind of confusing, but yeah. But, okay. Which, but anyway, this is the second main movie, though. Point. So, yeah, confusion aside, and it's SpongeBob, so.
And nothing doesn't make sense in SpongeBob. They just do stuff as they go along.
Pretty much, which is what, like I say, in my theory, creates the SpongeBob multiverse. Which, if they make a fourth SpongeBob movie, I believe that would actually be good for a fourth movie. Cross the Spongeverse, sort of, kind of do a little like the way the reference Avengers in this movie. So maybe they could reference the Spider-Man Spider-Verse.
Yeah, if they do a fourth movie, not only make a multiverse, but it's a possibility it might end the SpongeBob series as a whole.
Think so?
The official end.
What?
Possible.
We can only Nickelodeon would truly know that, because that's what they were trying to do with the first one, and we still got season. Because I'm looking straight ahead at seasons 1 through 8 so far on my video shelf, on my DVD shelf right now. Yeah.
And it also depends on the fans, on how they feel, if SpongeBob should continue or not.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, it's, I'll do it, I know, yeah, and then plus, God rest Steven Hillenburg's soul, so yeah, Nickelodeon's it's kind of going to be a lot on them and the fans, yeah.
Yes.
It's, not sure exactly how to feel about that, but like I say, it's, that's, like I say, get the old saying, if they can sleep at night, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
But they don't sleep at night.
Well, considering how Hollywood's system is, that could be possible. Especially live action actors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Say, one thing I definitely gotta say, this, I'm not saying. Now, I really do enjoy the first SpongeBob movie. Don't get me wrong. The first ever SpongeBob really was big. It was really hyped up. I mean, it was major. It was all over the place. It was even in the news. They even had it. Yeah, I'm dead serious. Like there was, my grandparents, they watched the news all the time. So obviously, kind of can't help but to see it back then when I was growing up, because you'd be like, okay, Gabe, we're gonna watch the news now. And there was a segment in the news come up, okay, and then turn reports with the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and then they showed the scene, I'm busy trying to rule the world. Well, good luck with that. This was on the news. Well, yeah, it was really hyped up, and it really put SpongeBob out there even more so than ever. However, the sequel here now, in some ways, compared to the first movie, it seems like it sort of is not quite as grand as the first movie in some ways, but story-wise and all the stuff that happens in here, and also knowing how SpongeBob works in general, to me it's actually the best of the trilogy. Actually, the best of the trilogy. The first movie is great, but this actually is sort of like, how there are sequels that seem to downgrade from the first movie.
Take Captain America, for example.
You said down.
Well, the first Captain America was good, but the second and the third movie, they were better.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you got something down, but then, like she just said, yeah. Then there's those movies that seem like they get even stronger the further along they go. Another example would be Shrek. First movie, we ogre, and the donkey goes out. meet the princess. She's an ogre, and they're happily ever after. But then the second movie comes out, we get Puss in Boots, Puss and Boots, and there is so much that expands that universe of how they set Shrek's world up. So much expanded. We find out so much. And it's not it's not over cluttered. It's just the right amount of what they show you, and the story flows so well, and really it feels like it's even strengthening the first movie. Like, oh man, I gotta see this. That's what it feels like with the Sponge Out of Water. Despite despite how some appearances of things may look compared to the first movie, again, story wise, yeah. It's kind of hard to argue that that it really can feel like a continuation from the first movie more so than happening before the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking at it, it's SpongeBob.
Yes.
Because there's so many references to episodes from previously. The first movie obviously was an extended version of the very first episode of SpongeBob. The premise of it. Some people think that SpongeBob can't do something. He goes out, he proves them wrong, and saves the day.
Same goes with real life. People in real life, they think they can do a task that they cannot do, but that person proves them wrong, and he or she did it. And succeeded.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's definitely like I say, an hour and a half version of the first episode, much similar to what they did with the Garfield movie. The first live action Garfield movie felt like they took the 30-minute Here Comes Garfield special and made into a one hour and a half movie.
For live action.
Because both of them involved him having to save Odie. So, yeah, that's what we get here. So, let's dive right into Sponge Out of Water. Well, I guess technically when you be going out, if it's out of water.
Yeah.
Well, we dive into the movie. We have to go underwater first before we come out. So, movie has a very interesting beginning. And another thing, first movie felt like something written by DC Comics. I know that's probably gonna sound silly, but it actually this is in my eyes. I feel like I was watching how DC would write, and when I say DC, I mean their good stuff.
Yes.
Their style of writing when you're actually getting something good, whether it's the series or a DC standalone movie, like the New 52 or something like that. That's what the first SpongeBob movie felt like, a good DC movie.
Yeah.
This feels like a good Marvel film, ironic because they're referencing the Avengers at the end of it.
Yeah.
But even before they get to that point, it's almost like I could almost imagine this. All of a sudden, like say you're looking for the next MCU trailer, and they're like, and then towards the end of it, like SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water.
An epic trailer.
Rated PG. Now in theaters June 13th. Well, and then like at the end of the movie. So, you think your secret formula is going to be safe, Mr. Krabs? I think you might need to take more secure cautions. And what are you suggesting, Fury? SpongeBob will return with his friends. Oh boy. Let me get in. Some of y'all be like, oh my god. Okay, let me get into this movie. like the preacher say, yeah, I'll get that when you get home. Okay, so the movie begins as, of course, our protagonist for this movie is introduced right away. Captain Burgerbeard, played by Antonio Banderas.
I don't know, why did they call him Burgerbeard?
Well, he was after Krabby Patty formulas. Big spoiler alert there, so, and Krabby Patties are pretty much burgers, so, yeah, that's...
He could be a great mascot for a burger restaurant.
especially Burger King.
Yes, but
Burger Beer, Burger King.
but they already have a mascot, the King, the Burger King.
Well, that might be a major competition.
Yes.
Although another way I referred to him when I found out he was played by Antonio Banderas, which I was really shocked because, wow, you got Zorro to play a pirate and he's not bad at it either. He actually does a really good job with it, to the point he's even having fun with this role. I mean, you can, from beginning to end, you can see this guy really, much like a lot of people working in these SpongeBob movies. I think is having the most fun of everybody, and he even steals the show.
Just like the guy who played Loki, he's enjoying his role.
Ironic that they reference Avengers, because I guess he's the Loki of the movie. Especially in Loki's case with the fangirls. As long as they see me in chains. Eek!
And you can see Burger Beard encountering some booby traps, and he's dancing around in them. It's like he's dancing around the booby traps. And then he finally got the book until he fought with some skeleton, and it looked like the skeleton lost.
Yeah, Skeleton did not do a very good job with his job guarding the book, yeah.
The reason why, because the skeleton's already dead.
And probably, and I theorize that the skeleton probably was just like, oh, screw it. Probably didn't, I guess he probably just didn't care at the moment.
Apparently that skeleton had flesh to be a living person. An actual living person.
Depends on how they make him look as a person there. Yeah. Yeah, but despite the with the dancing booby trap and the skeleton, yeah, he even made, as silly as it looks, yeah, you don't really care about the skeleton, because when you see him interacting with the stuff, yeah, you're gonna be having just as much. You're gonna be having fun with him.
Yeah.
Ooh, take the pool. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Captain Zorro. Captain Zorro. Oh.
I think I may have saw the Zorro movie in the theaters one time. I may have with my mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember much of it, but I may have saw it in the theaters. Either the theaters or we saw it on video. Either one. But overall, it was good.
Okay.
And he was young. I know he was younger at the time. It was back in the 90s.
Might have to maybe one day we might check out
The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah, you haven't seen The Mask of Zorro. There's a lot just like the duck that goes moo. Reacted to Nostalgia Critic that I've been watching lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in '88. He was born in late '90s, and even I have missed out on some things. So, yeah. Now I've seen some more stuff than he has, but there are some things that both of us have not seen. So, yeah, like I say, yeah. So he's not alone in some of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, if you're watching this, the duck that goes moo, because I've been commenting a lot on your channel there. If you just like are watching this out of curiosity of what I do,
yes,
yeah, I got some things I haven't seen too. So
heck, there might be some '80s movies that are considered hits that we haven't seen, like E.T. and Back to the Future.
And I know one for sure is Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll take a long while for Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies to get through. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they're good movies. I know they are, but yeah, it would. Only one Star Wars movie I actually saw, and that's because I went to see it with my cousins. It was kind of one of the later films, not the newer one since Disney bought it, but the birth of Darth Vader.
Yeah. When
Anakin Skywalker got burned up at the end of the movie, and the movie ends with him becoming Darth Vader. Yep. So.
Well, all the movies are good as for Star Wars, except for the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah, we no speak of that, Mr. Life Day. Yeah.
At least they didn't make it into a movie. If it did, I know it bombed quickly.
I know at least Guardian of the Galaxy was able to make a better Christmas special.
At least it did them justice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So after Burger Beer gets his book, and it's way overdue.
With the library card inside.
Apparently, they put magic books like this on the library. Well, then again, they did one time mistakenly get a magic book from Monkey Fist in the library in Kim Possible.
Heck, I could find a magic spell book in the library and just cast spells.
Oh boy. I guess my pretty.
Well, it'll be witchcraft.
Well, like the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
And then I'll get you, and you get the dog too.
All I need is a cauldron and a broomstick.
Or in the modern era, it would be Agatha.
Yes.
It's been Agatha all along. And I kill Sparky too.
I might add a black cat with it.
Oh boy. So Burger Beer starts reading the books, and he gets joined by some singing seagulls who live in the pineapple under the seas. There is nothing more I hate than talking birds than singing birds. Okay, I promise not to sing. Take it from us. He really does hate singing birds.
I think his original intention was to read the book to himself alone before he got interrupted just for the viewers.
Yeah, then he just kind of went with it as long as they didn't sing.
I think the seagulls are considered the comic relief of the movie. Just
Obviously.
keep the kids entertained.
Sort of like the Minions to Gru.
And then a few years later, the Minions got their own movie franchise.
Oh yeah.
Because they were popular.
Those little Twinkie people.
Yeah, we might see these movies one day to see what they're like.
Oh yeah, I have, because I think on our own we actually did see the first three.
Well, it was Despicable Me.
The trilogy, the Despicable Me trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah, I do recall seeing that. It was, yeah, Despicable Me.
I think that villain of Despicable Me reminds me of the penguin because of the nose, but taller. If the penguin got taller.
And if he had this kind of accent.
It sounded Russian.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
if the penguin was Russian.
A Russian penguin. Well, apparently the birds have the poop scared out of them when they see Skeleton Bird, to emphasize Burger Beer's point of his hatred to singing birds. Yeah, which is sort of like a scene in Muppet's Treasure Island with Dead Tom, when that scared Kermit. Yeah. Boy, it's not easy being green. So he starts to read the book, and we get a little intro once again into SpongeBob. How he likes his pet snail Gary and Patrick, all his friends, blowing bubbles, and more importantly, making Krabby Patties. Which that becomes the focus of the movie, is those Krabby Patties. Kinda like the first movie when the formula was stolen. They had to go to Shell City to get the crown back, in order to stop Plankton there. However, but I think the formula plays more of a plot point in this movie, though.
Well, the formula is the plot device of the movie.
Oh yeah. Except for the third movie, but we'll get to that in the next video.
We're not gonna spoil it.
Yeah, until we review it.
Yeah, we just have to refresh our memory because it's been a while since we've seen the first film.
Yep. So he talks about how good the Krabby Patties are and how much people eat them, even to the point where apparently the doctor has warnings about them, much like when a person eats too much fast food in general.
And the person who was and the fish who was still laying down on the stretcher, trying to breathe for dear life, he was smiling.
And still eating. He'll be dead in a week. Oh, Harold.
Even though in real life I know that's not funny.
Yeah.
And that person in real life, he wouldn't be eating the patty. He would just be lying there.
I wonder though. It's a thought that just came to my mind just now.
Yes.
You remember Super Size Me?
Yes.
How sick that guy got from eating McDonald's after 30 days.
Yes.
I wonder if that's a reference to that.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe he ate too much Krusty Krab like that guy doing Super Size Me with McDonald's too much and as a back to back.
I bet whatever happened to that guy, I think he's never gonna step into another McDonald's ever again after that experiment.
Sort of like Corey trying to avoid McDonald's and double toasted.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he literally tries to set his routes in when he's driving where he doesn't pass by one.
Yeah, it won't surprise me if that guy who did the documentary is still alive today and still continue to do his job.
Well, never know. Yep. So of course, as the story goes on, Plankton attacks the Krusty Krab in a battle style that's sort of like if you took World of Warcraft and Tailspin, put them in a blender, and also at the same time make a better version of Food Fight.
At least their food fight is more enjoyable than the actual movie.
Especially the fact that especially even better to look at because of the animation.
Yes.
Which they
It's like the animation's been updated.
Oh yes, and there's a lot of good action in this battle scene. Sort of makes me picture my boys Food Cat and Food Bear in it now because they use food items to fight with. Even like a plane that's like attacking the plane with potatoes. Hey, it's raining fries. And then Plankton fighting back with pickles from his tank. Now it's raining pickles. Now it's raining tanks. You're welcome.
I know the way the Plankton's tank looks like. It looks just like Plankton, especially the tip of the tank, because the tip of the tank looked like his eye.
Oh, you mean when it turns into a robot later?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's just say I think all this fighting, especially the scene when they use condiments like ketchup and mustard,
as well as mayonnaise.
And hold the mayo.
And Patrick literally just holding a big jar of mayonnaise.
And
it was heavy on him.
Let's just say I think the Condiment King from the Batman animated series would be very jealous right now. Greetings, Batman. I relish the challenge and hope you can cut the mustard. You have some catching up to do. Yeah, those of you who don't know, yeah, that actually did happen in the animated series. He wasn't a real criminal. He was actually, I think, like a celebrity or something that got hypnotized by the Joker and thought he was a criminal under hypnosis.
Oh.
And yeah, that's why he was doing all those puns and stuff like that. And Double Toasted Craig is like, well, at least Batman's being nice, but he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna let you finish your speech, and then punch you.
Imagine there's a condiment queen.
If the creators thought about it, I guess there would be.
Yeah, and that condiment queen would be the Condiment King's wife.
If he hypnotized his wife too. Yeah. Well, of course, like you mentioned a few minutes ago, we get the giant robot. Robot, quick boy, fart the door with a chair. I'll take one secret formula to go. And then the robot runs out of gas.
Ouch.
Barnacles, I'm out of gas. And of course, Plankton tries to use money to buy the formula, but he has none left because of all the other stuff he bought.
Wow.
Except for one penny that he surrenders to Mr. Krabs.
And Mr. Krabs took the penny, since he loves money.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's a penny, Mr. Krabs will still take it.
Oh, trust me, he body slammed SpongeBob for a penny once. And then of course there was a whole episode called Penny Foolish where he went crazy because he thought SpongeBob had found a penny, and SpongeBob honestly didn't know what he was talking about. I don't have a penny. Even if he didn't, SpongeBob, you don't have change in your house in general. I guess maybe just not that day. I guess
Everybody should have a penny.
Shoot, I got change. I keep so yeah. I mean that's kind of easy to get, at least especially a penny.
Yes.
Yeah. This loss, of course, causes Plankton to cry outside really loudly.
Ouch.
And Mr. Krabs decides to gloat doing the moonwalk out there. And apparently while he's doing so, he sort of made me think of a reference from South Park. And yeah, I don't really like South Park, but I have seen it a few times. I remember, and how I know, he referenced a clip from South Park where they kept saying, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it. And the only reason I know about that clip is because Nostalgia Critic put it in his Baby Geniuses review. Yeah, but Simpsons did it!
I know Mr. Krabs was also doing a moonwalk.
Yeah. Blick did la, ooh, blick did la, hee hee. Everybody wants to be Michael Jackson. However, eventually Krabs discovers that the crying Plankton is a robot, and the real Plankton is inside the penny that he put in the vault. And just as he's about to get the formula, he accidentally trips the alarm, causing the Krusty Krab to go into lockdown.
And they put everything in lockdown, including Squidward.
Oh boy! And of course, there was a funny picture. Me formula. No. Oh, almost tripped there. Almost. So, SpongeBob and Plankton try to fight over the formula until it vanishes there.
It just vanishes out of nowhere.
Wait a second. Molecular deconstruction? I've proven that to be an impossibility several times. Wait a minute. I think I forgot to fill Gary's dinner bowl. Wait a second. Did I leave the stove on?
Wait a second. Did I fill up my tank this morning?
Maybe Plankton should have remembered that for his robot.
Oh.
Since you mentioned that. Maybe should have put a little bit more in that robot. He wouldn't have run out of gas.
I think he was busy spending all of his money on his inventions that he didn't think of putting more gas in his robot.
Would you think he would, considering how bad he wants that formula?
Not just a robot, but maybe on the plane, in the plane as well as the tank.
He would have. Maybe they wouldn't have lost the potatoes and mayo. So, Mr. Krabs obviously thinks that Plankton took it some kind of way and decides to torture him with a joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Jimmy. Jimmy who? Jimmy, bet my formula, Plankton! Okay, that's stupid, but how is it torture? Jimmy, bet my formula. Oh, I get it! I think that's how you do the SpongeBob laugh. You do this with your neck. But yeah, he laughs uncontrollably, which causes torture for Plankton.
And Plankton trying to escape.
But he's taped down and can't.
And Mr. Krabs is just busy looking at his torture, and then while enjoying this torture, and he couldn't hear his laugh because his ears was covered.
Oh yeah.
I can't hear you.
But there is one thing he did here that stopped all this. The customers are getting restless. They're asking for refunds.
I guess that's Mr. Krabs' weakness is refund.
One of them there, and the other is hot butter. Melted butter.
I think the hot butter is worse because when you're splattered in butter, you turn into food and people will eat you.
And it's even bad when it's hot. It's sort of like the equivalent of throwing hot grits on somebody. Al Green.
Yeah, I prefer hot butter on popcorn.
Oh, obviously. So they after hearing this, they suddenly him and SpongeBob realize that there aren't any Krabby Patties, and without the formula, they're doomed. And you would think, well, doesn't SpongeBob know the formula by now? But apparently, there's a rule where I guess after knowing it to make the patties, he has to instantly forget it. Hey, nobody can remember the formula anymore. Even dreams on needle point. Oh, curse you, fine print! Yeah, I think the fact that SpongeBob has to forget it every time that's why he has to keep looking at it every time he gets ready to cook them.
Yeah.
This might, if you put this movie after the first movie,
yeah, that
could explain why Plankton doesn't try to make Krabby Patties again after knowing the formula, because they probably some kind of way off screen erased his memory once Neptune got his crown back and stuff.
Imagine the Men in Black came into the SpongeBob universe and erased SpongeBob's memory of the Krabby Patty formula.
Possibly, or either they would probably have some fish version of them.
Of the Men in Black.
The Fish in Black. Yeah.
And they erased his memory of the Krabby Patty secret formula.
Or maybe Neptune might have erased it, since he got magic with his Triton. So apparently Plankton escapes, but Krabs and the others catch up to him and try to interrogate him. Plankton swears he doesn't have it, so SpongeBob helps him escape in order for him and Plankton in order for them to team up and find the formula. But while SpongeBob does mean well by this, the way this looks to Mr. Krabs and everybody at Bikini Bottom, it kind of they think that SpongeBob has betrayed them. Sort of like when everybody was thinking that Spider-Man in the MCU killed Mysterio. And Spider-Man's real identity is Peter Parker. Holy Mother Hubbard!
And I know it shocked Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. So it looks like we got an early reference to that before No Way Home even came out.
And then the entire Bikini Bottom went into the apocalypse.
Welcome to the apocalypse, Mr. Squidward. I hope you like leather. Actually, I prefer suede. That'd be funny if there was a clip to pop up of Suede's intro from YouTube. It's the way it's Suede.
Maybe for a parody.
Why, hello everyone, and now that someone called my name, I will look at the SpongeBob movie. Now I'll actually put it in and look at it on the DVD player.
You might just do it by request if a fan requested it.
Oh yeah.
SpongeBob.
Yep. Burger Beard claims that the story is over and even shows the credits. But the sequels aren't having that. Hey!
Well, if that was the actual end, that means we end up watching a 30-minute movie, a short film of SpongeBob.
And much like the seagulls, I think some of the people in the theater would have been kind of ticked off.
Like, we wasted our money to see 30 minutes of SpongeBob. It feel like an episode.
Yeah, we pay as much as we pay for these tickets. So apparently Burger Beard has to continue reading. SpongeBob decides to form a team and and him and Plankton go to Patrick. But Patrick becomes like Judas and pretty much turns SpongeBob over. Whoop! I found SpongeBob! He's over here! Whoop! Whoop! Yeah, Yeah, and to be fair, first time I looked at this, I was like, "Wow, Patrick, what a Judas," which kind of seems that way.
Hmm.
But to be fair, apparently earlier before this scene, we saw Patrick react to the fact that there were no Krabby Patties and pretty much went crazy like everybody else in the city.
Hmm.
Since everybody thinks that SpongeBob is a traitor, yeah. And the word got to Patrick, yeah, he kind of thinks that too.
Yes.
So in their perspective, they think SpongeBob is the enemy.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. It seems like treachery from Patrick, but to be fair, like I say, in his point of view, like everybody else, in his point of view, SpongeBob is the traitor. Mm. Yeah. We know SpongeBob isn't a traitor, but that's what they think, though.
Oh.
Mm. And of course, they escape to Sandy's house and find out that she's gone mad because of the lack of Krabby Patties. And a page from the magic book has fallen onto her house, and well, it's making her even more crazy trying to figure it out because, yeah, only thing that she's getting out of it is the end written on the page, but can't figure out what that means. Okay, we know the end means the end of the story, but trying to find if there's a deeper meaning to it.
Let's just say that it did make Sandy go crazy.
Yeah, this was not a good day for her.
Yes, we could see that her nails got longer, and her fur got really long too.
Oh yeah. So SpongeBob then decides to go to Gary for help, but much like the people of Bikini Bottom thinking that SpongeBob's a traitor. Not only is Gary against SpongeBob too, but he's got an army of snails and has become their king.
The king of the snails.
Oh yeah, and for some reason this is making me think that this is a reference to Black Panther.
Except with snails.
Yeah, since the snails are supposed to be the cats of the universe of the SpongeBob world.
Yeah, and the worms are the dogs of the universe.
So, SpongeBob and Plankton take shelter for the night, kind of referencing the Life of Crime episode when SpongeBob and Patrick ran away. Yeah. See, I told you there's some references in this show. In this movie, I mean. And just as SpongeBob goes to sleep, Plankton goes inside his brain, referencing the episode Plankton from the series when he actually was in SpongeBob's brain trying to take control of him. However, Plankton this time is trying to find information of the secret formula, and inside SpongeBob's brain, he encounters a lot of sweetness.
I think it's like going inside of the mind of a little girl.
Oh boy. Even including a Shining reference with 2 popsicles. Come play with us, Plankton, before we melt. Yeah. Wow. And he even coughs up a rainbow. and a kitty appears. Hey, that was good though. Oh boy. Of course, Plankton doesn't think so, and yeah, when SpongeBob wakes up and finds out what Plankton was doing, SpongeBob gets really offended, especially the fact that Plankton thinks that SpongeBob is hiding the formula and pretending not to know it. I'm not pretending. Yeah, really, Plankton. He's supposed to. Yeah, every time he makes those patties, he's supposed to forget it. So.
Yeah, I could tell in his face.
Yeah. So, however, SpongeBob does try to motivate Plankton to be more positive about this whole thing. And paying homage to the episode Fun, with the Fun song, he sings a song about teamwork. Teamwork. Oh, brother. Yeah.
It is funny when Plankton cannot say team correctly.
Oh,
TM, time bomb.
Time work.
Time of work.
Time bomb. Work.
I think the reason why, because he's more used to working alone.
Pretty much, and it also kind of references something else from the Avengers when they were all arguing and weren't really on the page of being a team at first.
Yes.
We're not a team. or a time bomb. Time bomb work. Wow, the references are coming even before they become superheroes. So, apparently, after singing this, Plank, well, that's a few minutes of my life I'll never get back. Not without a time machine. Say that again. Hold that thought.
And he's literally holding his fart.
With a question mark.
Imagine a person in real life being able to do that. Hold their farts.
I'm telling this is my reaction right now. What in the world?
Holding their fart. What's next? Grabbing a person's dream?
Or the now rewind. I remember seeing on TikTok a clip of Meet the Browns bloopers when he said, "Hold up, y'all, that scene didn't go so well. Let's rewind it back." And Brown actually did the. Oh boy. So Plankton gets the idea to build a time machine in order to prevent the formula from being taken and put things back to normal in the apocalypse.
A time machine out of an old photo booth.
Oh yeah, and that's another Avengers reference to Endgame.
Yeah.
But I know the difference was they used the quantum realm, which we'll be seeing in the new Ant-Man movie.
They call it, I think it's titled Quantum Mania.
Oh yeah. It is the Quantumania, Quantumania, Quantumania. We meet you! little Tasmanian reference.
Oh.
Only thing missing is blah, 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 blah. So of course they need a computer for this time machine, so they have to try to sneak back in the chum bucket past the people guarding it to get Karen out.
Yeah.
And with Karen, they're able to power up the time machine that they built. Which, as you mentioned, out of a phone booth at a random taco place.
Oh yeah. Well, taco/sausage place.
I would like to go to a taco place that also has some sausage there, especially if they have down home smoked sausage.
Well, I think it's Mexican mixed with German.
Oh.
They call
German.
it taco halls.
So I guess it's German sausage there.
Yeah.
So I guess probably no down home smoked sausage.
No, unless you go into a Tex-Mex place.
Or if there is a place where you actually can. I guess.
A Tex-Mex place?
Yeah, I guess so.
Texas and Mexico?
And they throw some sausage on their menu.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say when they go to this time machine, you get some really bizarre effects in the vortex. Yeah, here we go now. Yeah. Sort of. I think some people describe an acid trip.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think Double Toasted Corey, he reviewed this movie and he said I don't know what part he fell asleep on, but he said he woke up right during the time travel scene, and when he saw that imagery, this was his reaction to the imagery when he woke up, that he didn't know what was going on.
He screamed.
Yeah, he's like, and he was all by himself in the movie theater, by the way.
Seeing that?
Yeah, that movie. For the review, he was the only one in that showing, and he said he was trying to. He said he was like yeah. He said I think the people in the theater must have locked him in. Like, hey, you made us show this movie for your tale, so we gonna make sure you see it. You ain't getting out till this movie's over. Now sit your butt down and watch SpongeBob go through a vortex.
Oh no.
So as the critics say about Superman 4 Quest for Peace, we don't take kindly to logic in this field. Now you sit back down and get back to watching Clark act like an idiot. Oh boy. during the time travel, they accidentally go 4 days into the future, which kind of freaks them out when they see old man Patrick for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they end up in a mystical dimension guarded by a magical ancient dolphin known as Bubbles, the one who watches. Apparently a reference to Stan Lee's character in the Marvel Universe as the Watchers. Which explains why Stan Lee is always in the different movies up till now, where, you know, he's passed and everything.
Yeah.
But back when he was, you know, still here, yeah, he was popping up in every Marvel film making a cameo. So that was their way of explaining how he did that. He was the Watchers.
I think his best cameo was in Endgame since it's his last movie, Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the way to close his cameo.
Yeah, he did get to be in that.
Yes.
To film that with him before it happened.
Yes. And some people may have think that Endgame is the last of the Avengers movies until Far From Home came.
Yeah, I think it's the last of the Infinity Saga.
Yes.
Because see, now they're doing like multiverse and all that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, we're supposed to get the X-Men at some point. So, yep. But once they get there, after Bubbles explains, you know, what he does, he mentions he has to go to the bathroom because he's been holding it in for 4,000 years.
I thought it was 10,000.
Oh, 10? Oh my God!
I think SpongeBob mentioned that he's been holding it for 10,000 years.
Golly! He must be in some you imagine the pain somebody would be in if they. Matter of fact, just the fact that he's around for that long.
I know it'll be worse for a human being if they hold it in for just a day.
He probably ain't no telling how many bosses he's probably had.
I can't do it. No one can. It's impossible for us humans.
As the genie say, 10,000 years can give you such a crick in the neck.
At least with Rita Repulsa, she's been free after 10,000 years.
Yeah, the magic dumpster. So, as he goes to take his bathroom break, SpongeBob and Plankton try to keep an eye on the universe, but Jupiter and Saturn crash into each other.
Ooh. And at least it's not the Earth crashed into Saturn and Jupiter together. It'll be worse if it was the Earth.
True. However, Bubbles doesn't take so well to this when he gets back and starts shooting lasers at them.
A dolphin with laser powers?
A laser dolphin. Why not? It's SpongeBob. SpongeBob and Plankton then managed to get to the past and save the formula. And just so happens at this point, Burgerbeard arrives at the beach, where it's revealed that his ship becomes a food truck. Like, you know, like a restaurant on wheels. Oh, you mean like a garbage truck? No. Well, we're not leaving until we hear the rest of the story. No problem. You like some little snack while you wait. Like some hot wings.
And it terrified the seagulls.
And what was even more terrifying is that all of a sudden they noticed one of the seagulls' cow was missing. Wait a minute, where's Kyle?
And they think he cooked Kyle?
Yeah, and scares them away, even though Kyle was really in the bathroom. Back in Bikini Bottoms, SpongeBob and Plankton arrived to get the formula back to Mr. Krabs, only to reveal that it was a decoy bottle that Plankton had snuck in there earlier. Suck my subatomic air bubbles, Eugene Krabs! You grabbed the wrong bottle! I didn't know there were two bottles! Of course you don't, because you got cotton candy for brains! No, really, he does.
And then they both got to argument, and the argument is so bad it made SpongeBob go on mad and crazy.
And mix recyclables with garbage.
Yeah.
Sort of referencing when everybody was arguing in the Avengers movie.
Yes.
Like, you also Captain America's on National Threat watching out. Excuse me, but do we go to your planet and blow stuff up?
Except they didn't go crazy, but the Hulk got really angry a few minutes later.
Oh yeah, when the brainwashed Hawkeye blasted the hell carrier.
Yes. They were running for their dear lives.
Your life, especially Black Widow.
I guess there's no time to argue. We just have to go. We just have to fight for our life right now.
And speaking of running for their life, Squidsaurus Rex just randomly shows up. Yeah, Squidward T-Rex, which makes me wonder, are there dinosaur versions of the other characters?
You never know.
They're wrong.
Well, they did have episodes of the SpongeBob characters in the prehistoric era.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob before comedy.
Yeah.
Which one thing I don't understand, I actually think that episode's pretty good there, but I don't get why. Could Jamaica Snuggie react to the SpongeBob episodes? They like SB129, nothing wrong with that, but they don't think that SpongeBob BC is funny and don't even bother to explain why. Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, could you still at least do the episode and that way we can see why you think that? You know, we can actually get a visual of your opinion. That's saying, not saying that they have to change their opinion. You know, like, well, Gabe likes it, so you need to like it too. I just want to know why. But yeah, they never would tell us why. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. So. And yeah, much like running for your dear lives from the Hulk, yeah, running for their dear lives from the Squidsaurus Rex. However, everything stops when SpongeBob, after SpongeBob's rage and everything, and yeah, even the Squidsaurus Rex stops.
And you look concerned.
Look at me. What if I become like all of you? A man unto his own island, concerned only with himself. So if a sacrifice is needed to restore Bikini Bottom to his former glory, then I will be the sacrifice.
And they zoomed in on Plankton, Squidosaurus Rex, even Squidward.
And he ruined the moment. You heard him. And they take SpongeBob to be used as a sacrifice. But the sacrifice doesn't go through because SpongeBob smells Krabby Patties, and just before you think it's the end of SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs smells it. There are Krabby Patties. And, oh yeah, we get a brief moment where Mr. Krabs throws the thing they were going to smash SpongeBob with.
Yeah.
And off screen, my leg! Yes, my leg! We got it!
Yeah.
I don't know if we heard it. I don't know exactly if we heard it in the first movie, but we get it here.
Yes.
My leg! sort of like that off-screen moment in Sleepy Time.
Yeah.
When like said, zap! I see you! Zap! My leg! So everybody goes after the smell of the Krabby Patties, going through snow and mountains and eagle space.
They went to space even though they're sea creatures? There's no air in space.
Not to mention when they finally get to where the scent's coming from, it's at the surface, sort of similar to when they came near the surface in that episode Pressure.
And then they went back underwater after going through all the different ailments and stuff.
But it's SpongeBob. So, how all secondary characters come back with me. So it's up to SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Sandy to save the day.
I guess they have enough budget to just focus on these characters, but not the rest.
Way to break the fourth wall there, extras. Well, secondary characters come with me.
Because they don't have enough money to make all the secondary characters have their animations change.
Pretty much, although if they did, an army of Bikini Bottom as an army on the surface coming up the Burger Beard.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, we gotta make things challenging. So yeah, we need to limit our animation, of course. So Bubbles shows up and forgives SpongeBob for what happened earlier. And with his magic, he's able to take them to the surface where where they become magically CGI.
Huh.
Sort of like James and the Giant Peach when he magically became a stop motion character.
Oh.
Hmm.
And the CGI almost looked real.
Yep, like pretty much how I think that's pretty much how SpongeBob would be like in the real world.
Yes.
Whoa.
Almost remind me of the later Toy Story films when their CGI got better and make them look like they blended into the real world.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Of course, after some wacky antics and also a few obstacles, they find Burger Beer cooking the Krabby Patties and confront him. However, he uses the book to poof them away to Pelican Island. Yep, and seems like all is lost once again until Sandy pulls out the missing page of the book she found, and SpongeBob uses it to turn them into superheroes, referencing the Avengers. Like, dun, 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 Patrick!
Huh?
Dun, 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 dun. And there's two random guys there. I think these are the, if you look carefully, there's these two guys, bald guys, eating some of the Krabby Patties. What is in this stuff?
And he's still eating them. Like, I don't know, I'm just enjoying the burger.
and I think I heard, not sure who, I forgot who he said they were, but I think these two guys are responsible for some of the music in the movie. Yeah. And I bet you a lot of those kids are probably kids that have been in other things for Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah, the kid extras.
And even some of the adult actors probably.
Oh yeah, the adult extras too.
Probably an easy day to be probably the best day to be an extra for this movie. Yeah, you get to hang out at the beach and eat burgers and react to superheroes.
Oh.
Best payday ever.
Heck, if it even took them 2 days.
Oh, well, they get
1 or 2 days.
the fact that they get food on and offset.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'd take that. Yeah, take some burgers.
I know that'll be an easy pay.
So sort of like one of our church plays back at one of our old churches when we actually got to eat classic chicken on stage.
Yes. And I tried to change what sort of cold.
Oh yeah, they've been Yeah, I sure took it though. Yeah, they were just right for me. Squidward, of course, becomes sourdough, which is sort of a reference to Hawkeye, but with a clarinet.
And when he blows the clarinet, the sound was so loud it scared the citizens.
My tiny little eardrums.
Well, there are episodes when Squidward can play his clarinet good, and there's others that he plays his clarinet terribly.
Sort of similar to how sometimes John is able to cook in Garfield, and then there's sometimes he can't.
Yeah, like the Thanksgiving episode, that's one of them.
Oh,
he can't cook.
And he had to call Grandma for help.
Yes.
Yeah, old Grandma to save the day. Then, of course, Patrick becomes Mr. Awesomeness, which is sort of a reference to Thor, but instead of summoning a hammer, he summons ice cream.
And you notice his body is both fat and muscular.
I guess this must be how the Kingpin is there.
Yeah.
So I guess you could also say it parodies the Kingpin's body.
Imagine your dad has muscle and fat.
He kind of does there.
Yes.
He kind of does there. With especially his arms there.
Oh yeah, his arms are muscular.
Of course, being that it's cartoon logic, Patrick has a 6-pack abs on his belly.
Yes. Even though he still has fat in his belly. It's like the 6-pack is drawn on him.
Yep. So, but I guess, like I say, it's like the Kingpin. I'll have you know that only half of my body mass is fat, the other is muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he proved it too, because there's a scene where Kingpin ran up to a giant robot. We're talking about like a robot that's like a freaking Megazord, and picked the thing up and threw it.
Wow.
By the foot. else want to say something? No, we cool, man. We ain't gonna say.
Like, I'm gone.
Yep. So yeah, Patrick's power is looks cool because he summons 2 ice cream cones, and then there's like a thunderstorm. Dun 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 dun. Burger Beer pulls out an umbrella. Maybe we should have picked a different superpower for you, Patrick.
Yeah.
However, Mr. Krabs is able to stop Burger Beer from writing in the book with his claws being the Iron Crab. Although I think I'm just assuming, maybe I'm not completely sure, but he's when he shoots his claw, he says "Ka-ching!"
Ka-ching.
So I'm assuming because of that and the dollar signs on him, maybe that's his superhero name, Ka-ching.
Yes, it could be either one, Iron Crab or Ka-ching.
Or maybe Ka-ching the Iron Crab. I'm just going by what he said in that since they were announcing their names in the first scene.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, and then of course SpongeBob is and yes, Mr. Krabs is obviously referencing Iron Man. And SpongeBob, I guess, being the leader, is referencing Captain America, but with bubbles instead of a shield.
He called himself the Invincibubble.
Mm-hmm. Which he uses to invent the bubble to get the book away. And it's funny how Burger Beer looks at the bubble coming toward him. Duh. That's what I mean by how he steals the show, because there's scenes where he don't say the thing, his reaction to things.
Yes, especially when you try to shoot the balls at SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, in the later climax.
And he's still shooting the bombs while he's looking confused.
Oh.
That was a fun reaction. He was looking confused and then still putting out the bombs at the same time.
Especially when he makes the sound woohoo. And of course, when they do hands in the middle for the first time as superheroes, they get joined by Sandy the Rodent.
And she became a real squirrel.
Oh yeah, giant size. Which I guess she's supposed to be a reference to Black Widow because of the karate.
Yes.
And also an ability that she shows where she's shooting nuts, sort of like a machine gun. Sort of like, I guess, Black Widow with her guns.
Yeah.
The Rodent. But of course, we do get a comedical climax fight version of the Avengers as they go through what I assume is the back lot of Paramount. Follow that grease team! And Mr. Krabs makes me think of Transformers when his jets come out. Oh boy, and there is a lot of good stuff in this climax fight.
Yes.
That it's a lot of fun to see. Mr. Burger Beard has a scene where he looks at the mirror, things are closer than they appear.
Like an actual car.
Through his telescope. And there was a lot when they trying to get the formula. There's a part where he says, "Oh no, you don't." And even I think then there's one part of it where they managed to stop the boat.
Yeah.
And as it's stopping, you actually see the seagulls watching this whole thing with 3D glasses and popcorn. That's what you get.
I don't know, they're representing the audience.
I bet Loki wish he had some popcorn when he was watching Iron Man and Thor go at it.
Yes.
You want me to put the hammer down?
But he was hiding and enjoying himself.
Oh yeah. However, Burger Beard actually looked like he was legitly upset for real in the scene where the book burns. No!
I guess it might be his reaction to the director.
Think so. Think maybe the director said something.
Yeah, possibly. You never know.
Prepare to be teamwork. I will scrub my own beats with you. I don't get it. Because you're a sponge.
Oh.
Yeah, and of course Patrick gets a shining moment where he actually uses the ice cream usefully. Justice is best soft served. And whole thing of ice cream comes out with the but Burger Beer swings around in a complete 360 circle and makes the ice cream come back at Patrick. Sort of like if they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Sorry to use this reference, but if they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I attack with my ice cream barrage. Well, I activate the trap called Mirror Force. Oh no! And it goes right back at you. I wish I had a negate attack. Yeah. Mr. Krabs does manage to make him drop the formula at one point with his claws, but he shoots hot butter at Mr. Krabs. Not melted butter! Mr. Krabs! And of course the scene you mentioned earlier with the bombs.
Yes.
Woohoo! Where he's doing where he's showing off making putting them in bubbles.
That's why Bob's enjoying that.
Like I think this part he said, "Oh please."
Yeah.
But eventually Plankton shows up as a reference to the Hulk, calling himself Plankton.
Plankton.
Because he has a ton of muscles in his body.
Small head, big muscle body.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had to get, we were going to get, that Plankton was probably the right one to do that joke with.
Yeah.
and of course, funny scene when he throws the boat up.
Yes.
You see Burger Beard inside, he's got to be on the trampoline, but it looks pretty fun. Whee!
It sounds like he's a kid in there.
Yeah.
It won't surprise me if he did backflips in there.
He probably played on that trampoline when they weren't shooting. I bet you he wanted to go wee, but since the script say you have to look like you're in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably was trying to hold his excitement in. Wee! Eventually, though, they do manage to defeat Burger Beer by having Plankton and Spongebob team up. How about a plankton of bubbles? Ooh, with a big bubble field that say, yo boy. And Plankton kicks Burger Beer back to the trademark island from the beginning of the movie. And they all go back to the Bikini Bottom with the Krabby Patty formula. However, Squidward's not so happy about it because he wants to stay there, feeling that he's a lowercase g god.
Yes.
But SpongeBob does give him a little something to take back with him.
Which is rock hard abs.
You're okay in my book.
And he's excited about that.
And everybody else is excited because they get their Krabby Patties.
Yes.
Oh.
And everybody's enjoying them. And I felt sorry for Squidosaurus Rex.
Oh, because of his little arms, it was hard for him to eat the Krabby Patty.
Yeah, it's difficult for him to eat. Big body, but little arms and hands.
Just like the T-Rex that Meet the Robinsons.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Burger Beard is with the seagulls decides to just what the heck, sing the SpongeBob song, and he becomes Painty the Pirate to sing with them.
Painty the Pirate.
Oh yeah, the little painting that be at the beginning of that be in the opening.
Yes.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. What do you say? There's sand in my ears. I can't hear you. However, the song is interrupted when Bubbles shows up out of nowhere for random reasons.
But a different animation this time.
And that's one thing I do like, how they play with the different animations, much like how the TV series would do at times, randomly.
Yeah.
What? This music is terrible. Well, I suppose you're entitled to your opinion. Wait, why am I even talking to you? You're an inferior species. What could you know about taste? You get upset by a pile of trash on the plate while I'm a space-time traveler, fabric unraveler, saving the baddies and the best, and now I'm rapping you. That song's so bad that I can't even stand it. Dispense with this nonsense. At once I demand you all stand no You all stand no chance against my power. Don't try it. Just sit there with your flappy beak shut and be quiet. Hold up, fish guts. You can't insult us, the Seagull crew. We're in no mood to hear. I can get it from you. We're flying on the breeze, bumping the seven seas. You got your nose on your head. You bow up when you sneeze. Why this guy so mean? Cause he older than a fossil. Alone up in space. Yeah, that must be awful. Hey, knock it off. You're making this movie too long. Why don't you take us back in time so we can finish our song? Fine. And they end the song. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. That was pretty good, actually. And the movie ends with that there, with them having sort of a, not sure what you would call that animation that everybody, when they were walking across the screen to the closing song there.
Well, it's just normal 2D animation.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sort of had a little style to it there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, very interesting song, too, they chose, because you also hear the song in the menu when you get ready to play the especially the Blu-ray or DVD, whichever one you get.
Yes.
So here we go now, and the nothing notice there. Yeah! Do you believe me? Take a squeeze me till I drop.
Squeeze me till I drop.
You know what this could use? A little interpretive dance. Chicka-chang, chicka-chang, dipper-dutch, double-dutch, thing. SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah.
I guess squeeze me like a sponge until I drop, like you could drop the sponge in the water.
Guess that's one way. That's one way of looking at it.
Squeeze my sponge until I drop in the water.
You never. It's a lot. You never know. Maybe that's what might be what they meant there.
Squeeze me until I drop.
SpongeBob has a lot of ways you can take it there. As long as it's not an awkward way though.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's yeah, like I say, from all that we did, that's one reason why we own the couch in the first place instead of in front of the DVDs, if you notice. Because there was a lot to say about this movie, because like I say, this, in my opinion, is the best of the trilogy. Oh yeah, Sponge Out of Water. It's just a lot to talk about with this movie. Yeah. I know you have fun with it there.
Yes. Mainly it's like SpongeBob going back to his usual stuff that he usually do, like being like still working at the Krusty Krab, still hanging out with Patrick, and still having his pet snail Gary, and keep on annoying Squidward, and then we see Plankton still trying to get the Krabby Patty secret formula and still fail at it from time to time. But overall, the animation is good, especially when they got into CGI form and they became superheroes like you see in the Avengers movies.
Oh yeah.
When they became superheroes. And you get a whole lot of antics, especially a few action scenes in the climax. Overall, like you say, it's just like it's better than the first film.
Yeah, just sort of like Shrek 2 to the first Shrek movie.
And you get a mix of two animations, 2D and CGI, all in one movie.
Right, and then you sprinkle with other styles there.
Yeah, after you get a little bit of stop motion.
With the dolphin, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually, which like I say, a lot of that a lot of those, that they sprinkled it with, they has been shown in certain episodes of the series.
I think you get 4 different animations. You get 2D, CGI, stop motion, and the last animation you see in the end with the seagulls and the dolphin rapping.
Oh
I don't know what that was called. That animation.
It looked like sort of a basic 2D animation from like something like maybe from 60s or 70s.
Look like it's the way the detail look. It looked like a painting.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, it looks like it's been painted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. It's which also leads me to believe that the artists probably had a lot of fun with this too, because
Especially the kids.
Yeah, you get to actually draw and animate these things in different styles and stuff.
Yes.
So that mean they obviously had to have probably several different animators for these different art styles.
Mm.
So that was a kick.
Yeah, I know the first film is all 2D animation. The second film has a mix of different animations, both 3D and both 2D and CGI.
Right, and
I can't wait to see what the third film is like.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be all CGI for that one there.
I guess the second film's like an in-between.
Sort of, I think that may be their way of trying to ease us in to see if they would, to sort of ease us into what the third movie would be like.
Yes, when it's all CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep. It definitely delivered the fun there. And like I say, Antonio Banderas, yeah, this was probably putting him on for this job was pretty much like putting a kid at the playground. sort of like how Tom Kitty probably feels when he plays Patchy the Pirate.
It's like he's reliving his youth.
Mm-hmm. I get the what's in the script? So I'm bugging me, and I have to fight SpongeBob and his friends for the Krabby Patty formula.
Yeah.
Okay, and I talk to seagulls. Yeah, and yeah, like I say, he's not only just a showtime, but it's really impressive, being how well known Antonio Banderas is known for that Spanish Zorro voice.
And he also did Puss in Boots.
Which Puss in Boots was supposed to pretty much just be Zorro as a cat. So to take an icon like that and have him play a completely different actor. I mean, I know actors that probably played other actors like, Tom Holland being British, how he had to, play American for Spider-Man.
Yes.
But yeah, this is really, you take something like something like the iconic Zorro voice and put it in the pilot. Oh boy! Imagine if he was casted to play Jack Sparrow.
Well, he'll still be awesome either way.
And you get to have rum in those movies.
Yes.
If this was a dream, that'd be rum. Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a fun movie there.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else there?
I think that's all I have.
Oh, okay. Well, hope you guys like that, and definitely check the movie out for yourself so you can have fun with it, just like these guys did. And like what you heard here, definitely hit like button, subscribe, share it with your friends, and don't forget to buy some of our available comic books and support us on Patreon. And until the next time, we will see you guys later. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Hey. And just squeeze me till I drop. Squeeze me till I drop.